More J. Cole news. I gotta get some of these out because the album is dropping in a week. But what's up? What's happening? Big K Beezy in this thing. K Beezy for Shazy. We here to talk. I feel like my head ain't straight today. I don't know what's going on with my shit. I feel like it ain't straight today. But anyways, we here to talk. We here to talk real quick. So. We got Fat Joe saying he can't respect J. Cole after he backed down from Kendrick Lamar. Again, we've seen academics talk about this. We've heard Charlamagne's take on this, so we're here to hear Fat Joe's take on this. I feel like at some point, yes, if we're discussing the big three, fine, this is something you can say. This is something you can say that this is why he doesn't deserve to be a big three. Now, with academics saying this is a combat sport, I don't agree. You have a choice if you wanted to engage or not. That is your choice. If you engage, you engage. If you don't, we gonna make jokes still, but it is your choice to engage or not engage. That is your choice as a human being. But besides all that, basically, if we're just talking about his legacy or like the music he puts out and how we're ranking him on his bodies of work, I feel like the beef shouldn't impact him. Now, if the beef happened and his career took a slump, then yes. But if, the beef happened, he did what he did, and his career is still his career, the nigga's still selling what he was selling beforehand, then it's like, well, hey, the nigga's still doing what he doing. We might not really like him or credit him as much, but if we just talk about career in totality, yeah, you gotta give it to that nigga. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. But let's see what Mr. Fat Joe has to say. By the way, their podcast is hilarious. If you have not listened to the Fat Joe and Jada podcast, this is no plug or no advertisement. It's just purely very funny. But anyways, Fat Joe and Jadakiss discussed J. Cole as he gears up to finally release his long-awaited album, The Fall Off. Fat Joe says he can't appreciate J. Cole's music as much as he did before his feud with Kendrick Lamar in 2024. He explained why it doesn't hit the same during an episode of the Joe and Jada podcast ahead of the release of the album. Let's see what Joe says. I don't look at him the same, Fat Joe says. Because I talk about Joe Budden a lot, that's why I keep saying Fat Joe. Anyways, he ain't come outside. I don't look at you the same. The effing sword is dull. I don't care what he spits. I've always said he's one of the greatest, and all that is irrelevant to me when you're talking all that gangster. He has not once talked some gangster. I did Fat Joe. Respectively. Now, I get the critique of J. Cole saying he's the best. He feels like he's Muhammad Ali, you know what I'm saying? The ones that they call to connect this shit like I work for IT, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it Aubrey? Is it Kendrick? Is it me? You know, he was talking his shit. I understand. He don't talk no gangster shit now. Stop it. J. Cole is far from that. We not doing that. And they call you out to the yard and you don't step outside. Now, with Fat Joe saying gangster, he could be saying like, biggest and baddest, I'm the best. You gotta change what you said there, sir. As we see with the whole 21 5-year front situation, niggas is playing with semantics with the words you say. That's number one. But number two, I get it. Like, again, Fat Joe, you're not wrong. But I feel like that aspect should not make you enjoy the album less. Again, if we're ranking an MC, right? Yes. If we're ranking an artist, I feel like that's a separate conversation. Maybe that's just me. Because as the case, like, for instance, if we're talking about Drake as an MC or even as a lyricist, yes, because of that ghostwriting shit, yes, your credibility goes down a little bit. I'm sorry. But if we're just talking about Drake as a whole in totality on his artistry, his bodies of work, yeah, I feel like that ghostwriting shit doesn't matter. If we got hits out of it, we got hits out of it. And I feel like, yes, even though this beef did happen and I wasn't happy with J. Cole, you could go back. You don't need the way back time machine for that. Nigga, I covered the beef. It's all here on YouTube. Just go back. But even with that being said, I wasn't happy. I ain't like how he did that shit. I thought that was some sucker-ass, hoe-ass shit. 100%. So I understand y'all niggas' perspective. But I'm not going to let that discourage my opinion on the album. Because if he delivers a quality album, I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, this album sounded great. It was like an 8 out of 10 because of that Kendrick shit, nigga. It's a 4 out of 10. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm judging it as a body of work. Shit, I even listen. Y'all know I ain't agree with all that bullshit 6ix9ine do, but I can even sit here and say, yo, that shit that nigga did when he was trying to diss Young Thug and how he tried to flip the itsy bitsy spider. I thought that was clever. I'm like, yo, that shit was kind of tough. Now we ain't really fucking with the nigga like that, but I wasn't on no hate shit. I said, yo, that shit sound tough. I can't even lie. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be fair a little bit. We gotta put our personal. Hey, sometimes you gotta put your personal ego, your pride to the side a little bit. You know what I'm saying? At times, I feel like with this, especially judging a body of work, we gotta put that shit to the side a little bit. Because if that's the case, and no shade to Drake, like nigga, Pusha T clearly got the better of you on Story of Adidon. Yeah, you said your little shit on fucking Scorpion. It was what it was. Nigga, Kendrick got the better of you in this exchange. But what? Niggas are still waiting for Iceman. I still want to hear Iceman. But I feel like it's because Drake showed up and at least sparred. Even though he lost, he sparred. Niggas could respect the fact that he went out there and got his ass beat. But he's still trying to come back. So I feel like there's more of a respect, which I do agree with, than a nigga who threw a shot, and then profusely apologized just not to get hit in the face. Because you was acting like you was well ready, but now you not. You know what I'm saying? And the nigga spared you just because, yo, he had bigger fish to fry. And my only critique with... I don't know how I got here. My only critique with this J. Cole shit is he wasn't the main nigga. It was always Drake, in my opinion. With Kendrick saying that shit on like that, it was always Drake. It's just because J. Cole was doing that big three shit. He had to say that shit. But it was always Drake. That nigga like Cole. He do like J. Cole. And if we're going off the rumor that, well, not rumor, but what Maul told us on his podcast, the Roy and Maul podcast, that Kendrick was supposed to be on this J. Cole album, we know them niggas like each other, gang. I'm sorry. They like each other. He fuck with that nigga. But anyways, let's continue. So Joe continued. I don't give a fuck if you lose. I'll never forget Everlast and Eminem. Everlast definitely knew he couldn't beat Eminem, but he came out to the yard. He came outside. That's just how I look at it. He caught stage fright. Jada disagreed with Joe, instead arguing that the music should stand on its own. Thank you. Yeah, Jada on my type of time. The music, man. The music is great, he said. Oh, yeah, don't you got some shit? J. Cole will finally be releasing The Fall Off on February 6th. He shared the first single, this 2-track 2, last weekend. The title seemingly implies it'll be a double album. Elsewhere, during the Fat Joe and Jada Kiss discussion, Jada hinted at J. Cole having plans of an additional mixtape to go along with The Fall Off. He's got a project coming out called the Fall Off, and he's got a mixtape where he used some of the locks, I guess, beats. He rhymed over Money, Power, Respect, and he rhymes over Can I Live? Kill Them Ish. J. Cole is coming back in a major way, Jada said. He also praised Cole's new album and said his handling of the beef with Kendrick Lamar won't matter after The Fall Off drops. Once you hear his bars, all of that ish doesn't matter. He's coming crazy. It's all about the music. You're going off the internet, he said. I ain't mad at the gang. I'm here for it too. I'm waiting. I feel like you can have a conversation about the music separately, the body of work, compared to how you feel about him and his ranking in this big three, or where he goes at the end of the day as like an MC. But music-wise, or the body of work, you could give it its kudos. Don't get me, like, niggas who call 6ix9ine a snitch, nigga, I still like them first two mixtapes by 6ix9ine. I don't give a fuck. Them shit still in my iTunes. Now, the other shit that came out after, But them first two shits was hits. I ain't gonna lie. But anyways, man, that's really all I gotta say about it. Hey, listen, at this point, niggas have this rhetoric. We'll see what happens when The Fall Off drops. We'll see if niggas change their tune. You know, and again, you don't have to. It's just, bro, we gotta separate the beef from the music. I feel like you can enjoy the album with the beef happening compared to how you feel about how he went about the beef. I feel like those are two separate things. They're not the same thing. But anyways, besides all that, what do y'all think? Comments down below. Links in the description. Besides that, it's your friendly neighborhood K.A. signing off for today. The Black TJ Dittweiler doing this thing. My name is Bells like Quasimodo. Hit like, subscribe. You try to hit a little bit more, you hear me? And I'm gone. Slimes on peace, y'all, gang. Aye.